Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Homage to our teacher, most venerable Pingat Lakuswan Mahanse. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dear Dhamma friends, last few weeks, actually 3 weeks, we discussed about Kaya Anupassana, then Vedanupassana. Kaya Anupassana, contemplation of body, and contemplation of feeling. Under Kaya Anupassana, the contemplation of body, we discussed altogether 14 meditations. The first meditation was breathing meditation. What is the second one? Iriyapata, right? We keep our mindfulness for walking and walking back and forth, right? Looking aside, and when we are not walking. Another one is Sati Sampada. So we develop our mindfulness. We discussed the way to develop mindfulness when walking and coming back, sitting, standing, sleeping, and even when we are defecating and even talking, not talking, developing mindfulness, right? All our body actions. What is the meaning of mindfulness? So we are trying to keep our, without getting any unwholesome thoughts into our mind, right? We try to eradicate all the actions what we do, develop the wholesome ideas, wholesome thoughts, and that's the third meditation. And what's the fourth one? Asubha, or foulness of the body meditation. We observe the body parts, 20 earth element and 12 water element, altogether 32 body parts. Then after that, we observed the 4 great elements meditation. We separate into earth element, water element, heat element, and air element. So 20 earth element, 12 water element, then 4 heating elements, and 6 air elements. And now, after that, today when we practice that meditation, after that we observe 9 stages of a dead body meditation. Okay, this is the Kaya Anupassana, contemplation of body. Supreme Buddha taught this one. Why that is, first of all, Kaya Anupassana? Because when this is our body, we can observe, right? Very easily we can understand our body. Then when you practice awareness of the body, we observe our body and we try to observe with reference to our body, we try to observe other bodies. There's no any difference, the same nature, same disgusting nature of other bodies. We try to come to realization that. And then when we practice Navasivatika or 9 stages of a dead body, we observe dead body we compare our body and other bodies are the same nature, right? All the 9 stages. Altogether, in Kayanupassana, 14 meditations. Okay. Then we discussed contemplation of feeling. There were mainly 3 types of feelings, right? Pleasurable feeling, painful feeling, neither pleasurable nor painful feeling, right? We discussed that uninstructed worldling, then when they have pain, they got the 2 sort of arrows. They get the bodily pain, and also they don't understand the reality of that pain. They get the mental pain as well. That's why that they explain when somebody get the pain, they get the shot from the arrow, they get another shot because they get the mental pain as well. But instructed world, they know the Supreme Buddha's teachings, they know Supreme way of thinking, and they know that if there's any pain, that also there's a reason. And how is the pain is coming? With the contact, right? And if there's no contact, there's no feeling, right? So that if something's conditioned, the subject to change. Okay, so develop that this mindfulness. We come to at any pain when you observe how we get the pain when we see the forms from our eyes. With the contact of our eye, we get the feeling, right? Either pleasurable feeling, painful feeling, or we call neither pleasurable nor painful, right? So this called, and from when we hear the sounds, we get all the 3 types of feeling from nose, tongue, body, and mind, right? Then after that, we discussed that there are 6 types that there are feeling based on sensual pleasure, right? That pleasurable feeling. But there are feeling that is not based on sensual pleasure. Okay, which kind of feelings that when somebody is practicing maybe meditation, Dhammapada, they have a pleasurable feeling. In that feeling, the underlying tendency of lust is not there, right? There are 2 types of painful feeling. Somebody may have the feeling of the sensual painful feeling. It is coming from sensual side. And it is the underlying tendency of aversion, right? That Patighanusati. Then somebody is practicing Dhamma, but they cannot, sometimes they have difficulty to follow the Dhamma, and maybe they try to practice meditation, they cannot develop meditation. There's a possibility. Would explain that you have painful feeling. In that painful feeling, the underlying tendency of aversion is not there, right? Aversion is not there. They explain that the sensual, neither pleasant nor unpleasant feeling. Okay, in that feeling, underlying tendency, ignorance will develop, right? Where avijja, say. However, when somebody is practicing that from the jhana, you can come to the equanimous from the concentration, like for jhana. In that neutral feeling, you don't have the underlying tendency of ignorance. Okay, so therefore, when we develop that mindfulness of feeling, you know that when you any painful feeling when you get from the mind, you know that all these feelings are coming from the contact, and this condition subject to change. Maybe pleasurable feeling we cannot keep forever, right? It is conditioned, subject to change, it will be impermanent. And even that painful feeling, that is conditioned, impermanent, subject to change. Okay. And even neither pleasant nor unpleasant feeling, that also will change. If you know that, even sometimes people know that that is conditioned, they don't get the shot from 2 arrows. they will come to equanimity, right? They are equanimous. Their whole world will not collapse because of this feeling. They develop the mindfulness, right? This is the way of this world, okay? And even we like it or not, that's the real nature. Okay? So to explain. Now we come to Chittano Passana, the contemplation of mind. So Katancha Bhikkhave Bhikkhu Chitte Chittanupassī Viharati. And how monks does a monk dwell contemplating mind in mind? When we consider mind, right, the whole world is in a trick status due to the elusive nature of human mind, right? No one has understood the power of mind as clearly as the Blessed One. And it is only Buddha who understood the nature of mind, nature of human mind, and power of human mind. And also the method of cleansing it and art of becoming its master. Cleansing it, the unwholesome things from the mind. Right? Buddha understood that. Blessed One placed so much emphasis on mind and mental phenomena because of this tracing role that our inner life plays in a genesis of human action. Right? It makes a major role of that our human action for the mind. So usually that uninstructed ordinary person who is uninstructed ordinary person, they don't know about Supreme Buddha's teachings, and they don't know about Supreme Dhamma, Supreme Buddha, and also Supreme Sangha, all these committed monks. That they might well be dispassionate towards this body and made of four great elements, might well detach himself and be released from it. They see the impermanent nature of body. They can see, because after a few years, maybe 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, they can see that it's becoming impermanent, right? It is seen how this body grows and decays. Okay. Therefore, an uninstructed ordinary person might well be dispassionate towards it, might well detach himself and be released from it. Okay. There's a possibility even uninstructed world is. So, but Buddha explained these monks, which is called mind, is called thoughts, is called consciousness. Because sometimes minds we call thoughts, and sometimes we call consciousness, right? So, and towards this, an uninstructed ordinary person is not able to be dispassionate, right? Is not able to detach and release from mind. For a long time, this has been that with which he identifies himself, to which he has been attached and had held on to thinking how they think about his mind. This is I am, this is mine, this is myself. Okay. Therefore, an uninstructed ordinary person is not able to be dispassionate towards it and to be detached and released from it. Okay, they can detach from the body, they can see that it's decaying. But however, they hold into their mind, this is I, mine, myself. Okay. And because they don't know, then Buddha explained, it would be better, monks, if an uninstructed ordinary person regarded this body made of four great elements. What are the four great elements? Earth element, water element, heat element, and air element, as himself rather than the mind, right? Because they can see What is the reason? They can see this body is seen. This body is seen to continue for many years, and they can, if they want to, they explain. If they want to consider, is I am mind myself hold into body, because they can see it from their eyes. After a few years, that's going to be impermanent. However, if they think about mind, can they keep that hold the mind? Mind is changing all the time. He explained it's like a just like a monkey is going from one branch to another branch. He holds one branch and jump into another branch. He holds another branch. He releases other one. Same like this, a mind is changing continuously from one thought to another, right? And because the mind will catch the thoughts continuously and will go to other one. It's changing. But however, uninstructed worldlings, they consider this mind is I am my myself. The one day in that Chitta Sutta would explain, a certain deity came into presence of the Supreme Buddha and questioned. This is the question, Lord, Supreme Buddha, what is it that whereby the world is led? What is it that it is being dragged? And what is it that in whose sole sway? When he explained, some people who try to find solution for these resolve that there is a good God who created this world, because they cannot find. Therefore, they think this whole world created by a God, whilst the others determine that this is by chance, not caused by any condition. So they think that they just happen like that. However, Supreme Buddha showed the reality distinctly thus, but he saw the world distinctly. And friend, the world is led by mind. The world is led by mind, thought. By mind, the world is thrown away. All have gone under the sway of the mind. All the world. It is in the Chitta Sutta. Then Supreme Buddha explained in the Purnama Sutta once, he clearly understood the unsatisfactoriness of all sentient beings due to defilements of the mind. Why this mind is with the defilements, unwholesome things in the mind. They are not happy. All the world are not happy. Then Buddha proclaimed that there is no other thing that brings so much harm as a mind that is untamed and uncontrolled. So untamed and uncontrolled mind will bring you harm, happiness or harmfulness, right? Harmful. Whatever an enemy may do to an enemy, an ill-directed mind would do one a greater injury. Okay, so, and it is not tamed, is a, that unpurified mind can give the injury to one's, so any person, their own mind. So when you consider that steel, cast bone of iron consumes the iron itself. When you see that steel, that when you got the corrosion, it will destroy the iron. Same like the uncultivated, undeveloped mind of the transgressor will lead to him to woeful status. So what happened is undeveloped and uncultivated mind will give the harmful results to ones. So Supreme Lord very often he mentioned, search yourselves, purify your minds just as cleansing a stained and dirty cloth. Cleanse your mind. When Supreme Buddha declared that to conquer oneself is nobler, noble than conquering thousands of men in a battlefield. Conquering yourself is, is greater than you are conquering thousands in a battlefield, right? Thousands of men. Such a man who conquers his unguarded, untamed mind is greatest of conquerors. He is great because he can overcome all these unwholesome things, right? So he can purify his mind. Then Tathagata frequently advised that as an excellent charioteer, now excellent charioteer is skilled in taming of wild horses and wild elephants and subdues their wild ways. He caught his wild horses, wild elephants, and he is taming all the wild horses, right? And he removed their wild aspirations, and they train according to the human ways. All these wild horses, wild elephants, and some wild bulls, and control. And one should take all efforts to tame, control, and guard the mind. This is the effort we have to guard our mind. Such a mind indeed bring great happiness and profit. The Blessed One had discovered the deeper, the Supreme Buddha understood. He is the only one who understood the deeper universal melodies of the human mind and declared that mind is subject to the law of cause and effect. Cause and effect in this mind. So then he explained what is the origination of consciousness or mind. Then he explained, monks, dependent of mentality and materiality, nama rupa arises consciousness. The consciousness is depend on nama rupa or mentality or materiality. Okay, so at one time Supreme Buddha explained to disciples of how previous Supreme Buddha realized the Dhamma, where they declared how the Vipassī Buddha, in experiencing the supreme bliss, then realized consecutively without any guidance of a teacher, then dependent origination and causal condition of rising of suffering, paticca dependent origination, he explained, dependent origination, Vipassī Buddha. When this is, that comes to be, okay? With the arising of this, that arises, dependent origination, okay, what? Dependent on consciousness, and dependent on consciousness, mentality and materiality arises. And dependent on mentality and materiality, the consciousness arises. And there will be a problem. Why that? Because mentality and materiality arises because of the consciousness. And I said, I could explain that, okay, because of the mentality and materiality, the consciousness arises. Because of the consciousness, mentality and materiality arises. And why is that? To explain. This is because he explained that consciousness is leaning towards to mentality and materiality. Mentality and materiality is leaning towards consciousness. Okay, so what is mentality? Feeling, perception, volitional formation, contact, and attention. And what is materiality? Earth element, water element, heat element, and air element. Okay, because of mentality and materiality, consciousness is there. Because of the consciousness, mentality and materiality is there. They are interrelated and interdependent for these two things. right? Have no independent existence for consciousness and mental materiality. Thus, does this whole mass of dukkha or suffering arise? Okay, this is the way all the dukkha arises. Somebody who cannot understand this real nature of this one, and so they cannot see the reality of the mind, right? They cannot see the reality of mind by seeing of that dependent nature. What is the condition for consciousness? Mentality and materiality. What is the reason for mentality and materiality? Consciousness, because they are interrelated, right? Now, the Buddha explained this way: the ordinary person who has no proper understanding of the mind perceives permanence and self in mind, right? So, the enlightened one who discovered the real nature of mind pointed out thus, okay, which way, monks? Now, suppose that a magician were to display a magic trick, okay, at the major intersection. The gathering observes the magic thinking is the reality. So when somebody is showing the magic, all the people, they see that this is the reality. So there's a man with good eyesight. He's seen and appropriately examine it, found it that this is only a magic trick without any substance. And he observed the reality because he sees the reality. In the same way, monk, consciousness is just like a magician, right? And if someone sees it, observes it, and appropriately examines it, it would appear empty, void, without substance, right? This is the way of mind, right? This is the way of mind. Consciousness, where we can observe the consciousness. In eye, we can see eye consciousness. In ears, we can see ear consciousness. Nose, tongue, body, and mind, right? When we see all these, the way that Buddha explains here monks, a monk understands mind with a lust as a mind with lust, because when somebody is mindful and when he is still, he can understand mind with lust as a mind with lust. Okay, what is the lust? To this with the sensual desire, because when he sees form and from the eyes, sounds when he hears from the ears, and nose from the smells, and tongue and body and mind, he can see that lust as mind with lust. He understands mind without when because when he comes to the understanding of the mind, that the real nature of the lust and the impermanent nature of lust, then he will come to the realization. Then his mind will come to, he understand the mind here. He understand the mind, so without lust, as a mind without lust. Okay. And also he understand a mind with hatred as mind with hatred, right? So, and what is the hatred? Aversion, right? So, and the how it comes to our mind, anger, or that hatred will come, right? So we have that when somebody sees the properly how it happens, uh, mind with aversion that has arisen due to resistance, a repulsive object is called repulsive object, patikha nimitta. And on form, sounds, smells, then taste, and tangibles, with an unwise reflection on them, right? which is called all these repulsive object will come. But however, someone is that they have unwise consideration, unwise reflection, and as mind aversion, and that's how it will generate aversion. He understands properly with mind free from aversion as mind free from aversion, right? So he understands it when he sees that, when he observe that how it comes, how it comes, the mind, when you see the mind, okay, you have thoughts, right? Some thought of with the particle nimitta, what is the particle nimitta? Repulsive object. But you don't have wise consideration. But unwise consideration, you develop, uh, what is that? The unwise consideration, you develop the anger, right? So, but somebody, he understood that real nature. So he knows that what is happening in the mind. So when he understood that one, then he understand mind without hatred as mind without hatred. Okay. Or that then after that he understand mind with delusion as mind with delusion. What's a delusion? We don't see the reality. We know that we have distorted perception. We see that foulness things as beautiful, and we see that sorrowful things as happy things. We see that impermanent things as permanent. We see non-self things as self. That is the distorted perception, inverted perception. Not really we can see. Right? So when he observed that it is happening, those things, and he observed, he understand mind with a delusion as mind with delusion, and then he understood by observing this one and all this nature of the mind, he understand mind without delusion as mind without delusion. Okay, and then after that, it will come to contracted mind. Contracted mind. How the contracted mind? So that developing that sleepiness. He understand properly collected mind, restricted mind without element of exertion of development for foundation of mindfulness, and due to sleepiness, and as collected mind, he understand properly a scattered mind as scattered mind. So when somebody has sleepiness, that is contracted. And how is distracted? To the outside. Outside because distracted. You are not concentrated, your mind is distracted, right? Then that time he understands distracted mind as distracted. Okay. And then he understands exalted mind. You understand exalted mind as exalted. Mahāgatan citta. What is a Mahāgatan citta? Because Mahāgatan citta means when he removed that 5 hindrances. What are the 5 hindrances? Those are the things against to develop our mind. What are the 500 hindrances? So sensual desire, and ill will or hatred, and restlessness and remorse. What's the other one? Sleepiness and doubt, right? And somebody remove that all these 5 hindrances from their mind, and also that then he removed that his mind is concentrated, and he is with the jhana, right? In the jhana, the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana, highest level of absorption. Suppose he removed his 5 hindrances, he will go to the jhana. And so it is powerful when somebody became that first jhana. That when you come to first jhana, what is that the quality of first jhana? Thought and sustained thought, rapture, pleasure, and concentration. So that is called, this is the exalted mind. If somebody comes to exalted mind, they know their mind is the exalted mind, because they are in jhana level, right? The next one, because of the five hindrances, if his mind is not concentrated, he knows, he understands his mind is as unexalted. Okay, so he is suffering from five hindrances: sleepiness, doubt, and also his mind is wandering here and there, and he has anger, ill will, and also sensual desire. All these five hindrances, and then after that, so it will come to the Sautram va chittam, Sautram chittam pajanati. What is the Sautram chittam? So he understands surpassable mind as surpassable. So then this is the another condition of the mind. This Buddha explained here in Chittanupassana. There are 16 stages of the mind we have. Okay, so this one stage. So somebody remove five hindrances from his mind, but however, still his mind is not developed until into the jhana. But he removed, but he is concentrated, but his mind is not developed to the level of jhana. So this is the one is called surpassable, sautranchitta. He understands the surpassable mind as surpassable. And if it is not surpassable, he removed that, eradicate five hindrances, his mind became unsurpassable mind. Then he knows that his mind is unsurpassable, as unsurpassable. Then he knows that when his mind is concentrated, right? Samahitan chittang va samahitan chitta. So then somebody is developing calming and insight meditation. Calming samatha vidarshana meditation. He is concentrating the wholesome things, and so he is developing his all these calm and insight meditation, and this mind is concentrated. Then he knows his mind is concentrated. Okay, however, his mind is not concentrated because it does not develop all these in the mind. He understands his unconcentrated mind as unconcentrated. Asamahitan chittam pajanati. So next one. So vimuttan chittam pajanati. So then vimuttan chittam, because when he comes to the understanding of liberation, he understood, he became liberated from all the unwholesome things. That time he understood that his mind became liberated. So, and he understood that. However, if his mind is not liberated, he knows that his mind is unliberated, right? And so, and also that if you go to Anuttaran Chittam, a little bit above. So we discussed about Sautran Chittam, right? Sautran Chittam is that you eradicate all the five hindrances, but it is not still the level of jhana. But your mind is eradicate all the five hindrances. That is called Sautran Chittam. That is called understand the surpassable mind as surpassable. Then Anuttaran Chittam. What is the meaning of Anuttaran Chittam? He understands unsurpassable mind as unsurpassable. So Anuttaran Chittam, because he eradicated five hindrances, right? He eradicated five hindrances and he developed all the jhana, and he is well established in jhana, first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, and fourth jhana. That is called Anuttaran Chittam. right? Anuttarang cittang, anuttarang cittanti pajanati. You understand an unsurpassable mind as unsurpassable. Then after that, it will come to concentrated mind, right? So developing calming and insight meditation, right? This discussed the higher level of mind, right? Somebody is developing and concentrated, then after that liberated, because he totally concentrated mind and is totally liberated. That the vimuttam chittam vitam chittanti pajanati. Okay, those are the conditions of the Buddha's explanation. Now, after that, Buddha explained this. In this way, dwells contemplating mind in mind within himself. He dwells contemplating mind in mind with another, and he dwells contemplating mind in mind with both within himself and within him another. So he understands my mind is the same nature, right? He understands other minds are the same nature. He understands my mind and other minds are the same nature. So by this way, he dwells contemplating the rising of the mind, and he dwells contemplating the passing away of mind, and he dwells contemplating the rising and passing away of mind. Mindfulness, that his mind is simply established in him, and to extent necessary for higher knowledge and mindful, he dwells independent and not clinging to anything in the world. That is how a monk dwells contemplating mind in the mind. So, and so these are the stages of mind somebody can go, and for the 16 stages, right? So what are the 16 stages? When we have lust in the mind, we understand we have a lust. Okay. When we don't have lust, we understand we don't have lust. When we have hate, we understand we have hatred. We don't have hatred. After that, how we come to not to have hatred, right? If you go to that lust, how we understand that lust is not there. Somebody understood how the reality is lust. How will lust will come to the mind because of the forms, right? Sounds, smells, taste, and tangibles. All these, because of all these things, it will come to our mind, right? Unwise consideration, because all these things come to our mind, will come to our unwise consideration, and then the mind will develop the craving, right? And but he understands properly mind free from craving, as mind free from craving, by seeing the mind as really the real nature and through insight. Okay, so how he see the mind through insight, because he understand this mind is impermanent, because it's condition of name and form. Thoughts are condition of name and form, and his consciousness is condition. And the unification of these three, mind, thoughts, and consciousness, which is called contact of mind. With this contact, right? All these things are conditioned and subject to change. Or the feeling, perception, all these things will come. To understand nature, then understand lust, and then there's no lust, you understand there's no lust. If there's a hatred, you understand there's no hatred. And there's hatred, you understand hatred. Delusion, you understand you have delusion. There's no delusion, you have no delusion. And you have sleepiness, and you know that it's a sleepiness, and you distracted outside. Right? Always that contracted inside. The mind will be contracted inside and distracted outside. So this contracted inside means sleepiness, right? And distracted, your mind is going away from here and there. Okay, and then after that, exalted mind, right? Mahāsatipaṭṭhānasutta chitta. So you remove the 5 hindrances, and and then you develop the mind. Your mind is up to jhana. Okay, Mahāgatan Chittang, then Sautran Chittang. After that, Sautran Chittang, Anutran Chittang, then Samahitan Chittang, and Vimuttava Chittang. All these conditions. If you know that your condition is not there, so you know that your condition is not there. Okay.
Can you explain surpassable and unsurpassable a little more?
Okay. Yeah. All right. So, Sautran Chittang, this is the way. Somebody eradicated 5 hindrances. He's concentrated, but still his mind is not in the level of jhana. Right? He's still not the level of jhana. Then Anuttarang Chitta is he eradicated all these 5 hindrances, and his mind became jhana, and it became very established there. Or first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana, he established in the, because his mind is well trained to the jhana. Okay, so then Mahāgatan Chitta, you eradicate 5 hindrances. Okay, so but Mahāgatan, the exalted mind, but you eradicated all these 5 hindrances, but you came to the level of jhana. You just came to the jhana. You just achieved that jhana, right? So that is achieved the jhana. So but when you go to Anutran Chitta, you will establish jhana. You can go to any time to jhana, right? So when you establish jhana, it will come to the Samahitan Chitta, which is called Samahitan Chitta, concentrated mind. So your mind is concentrated, calm and insight meditation. You can see the reality now, right? Concentrating. So when you see the reality, it will come to the Vimuttava Chitta, Vimuttava Chitta Pajana. So you liberate from that. It will go the way that it will develop. Right? Understand? All right, so we have time, and so I will take that questions. Any part you did not understand.
So again, when the mind has become unsurpassable, you're reaching a stage of concentration. Is that so?
Yes.
As related to the jhana.
Yes. That Anuttarang Chitta means that your mind develop the jhana is great level, so you can go to any level, right? Very soon. That's why this is a great achievement, Anuttarang Chitta. So when Anuttarang Chitta, it will come to the Samahitan Chitta, which is that Samahitan means concentrated mind. I think better to keep that. Samahitan Chitta. So concentrated mind. This. Right?
So it's after the concentrated mind, it's the liberated mind that actually can enter the jhana.
No, not in the jhana, that you liberated from the unwholesome things.
Okay.
That means achieving the greatness. Okay. When you achieve the greatness, means if you became enlightened, you will remove that all the unwholesome things that you know that you liberated from all these unwholesome things.
Okay.
Right? So you when you go to jhana, you understand the reality. That is called Samahitan Chitta. Yes, Samahitan Chitta is concentrated. With the concentration, well established with the calming and insight meditation. And then after that, you see the unwholesome things, like you see the impermanent nature of that 5 aggregates of clinging. Then after that, you eradicate attachment to all the 5 aggregates of clinging. So then you liberate. You became enlightened. Yeah. That is why that all these up to the liberation, all these 16 stages starting from normal stage.
So the liberated mind
Yeah,
is then on its way to Nibbāna.
it's already Nibbāna.
It is Nibbāna.
It is
Liberated
Nibbāna,
mind.
it's liberated.
From the family.
Yeah, free from all the defilements, free from all the unwholesome things. So this, in order to develop this mind, we can understand, we develop that great mindfulness, right? Understanding all those things. Yes.
Concentrated mind does refer to jhana, or it doesn't necessarily relate to
It is that now the previous one is which is called Sautran Chittang, no, that Anutran Chittang. Anutran Chittang is that yes, there's Anutran Chittang. Anutran Chittang, you are asking in that Anutran Chittang, right?
samadhi.
Oh, so later, Samahitan Chittang. So now, when you come to unsurpassable mind, means that you established jhana and you well established in jhana because you eradicate all the five hindrances. You well established in jhana. That is called Anuttaran Chittang. Okay. Then Samahitan Chittang, the well established mind. Then you come to Samahitan Chitta to develop some calming and insight meditation, Samatha Vidarsana Bhavana, and well established there and in the wholesome things, right? So, and you develop your insight meditation there. So you observe in that insight meditation. So, for example, if you take that you are observing the five aggregates of clinging, that impermanent nature there. So you are observing that impermanent nature. Yeah. So that is the whole concentrated mind, right? So you are observing that impermanent nature. That is samahita, concentrated. Yes.
Absorption at that point. Yes.
Yeah, you became that to jhana, but you became jhana. Then this stage, your jhana is well established. Now that stage, you are observing that in the jhana, when you go to jhana, if you want to achieve enlightenment, you do not attach to that jhana. You observe the impermanent nature of that any jhana. If you go to first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, or fourth jhana, when you go to jhana, you see that is there any five aggregates of clinging in with reference to that jhana? Form, feeling, perception, volitional formation, and consciousness. You try to see that impermanent nature, that form is impermanent here, and feeling is impermanent. Perception is impermanent, volitional formation is impermanent. This is the stage that he is observing. That is called concentrated mind, samahitan chitta.
Okay, so the previous one, the Mahāsatipaṭṭhānasutta and then the Anuttara, those for me it sounds like those state of mind we observe it during our samatha meditation, while Samahitam Chitta we observe it when we do vipassana.
Yeah, then we do vipassana. Vipassana, yes.
Jhana for me is like from samadhi.
Samatha, yes. Yeah.
So I'm it states where plus feature and plus.
Sorry. First stages?
Well, it's
Yes.
and then my the nature.
Yes.
And I understand why you should see those pretty 70s. It's really really working hard to get rid of those thoughts. That's like really trying to focus.
Yeah.
Before you can get to the life to get
The last stages.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
You recommend following that. Let's say the first 5.
it depends on you, right? You have to find out. So the most things that you get more lustful thoughts or more hatred thoughts. If lustful thoughts, kind person, right? And so hatred thoughts, loving kindness, right?
We understand, right? But we understand, but then I think of China, which is more like we do with us problem.
Yeah. No, actually, yeah, that he understands. Understand. Try to that's how that when you have lust, you understand lust. Then by understand this one, you develop insight meditation. Then that's how you remove the lust. Then when you remove the lust, you know that your lust is not there in your mind, right? Then when you have hatred, you understand that with the mind. How you understand it mindfully, you understand the hatred. Then you develop insight, right?
That's Vipassana.
Huh?
Vipassana. That's Vipassana.
Yes, that is vipassana, right? You see that how it's forming. I will take that question.
We talk about causing effect. The effect is preventing the feeling, so the causes stays mind, trapping the mind. So once they understand the mind and then there's so like once we get an unpleasant feeling, that arises because of the consciousness, right? That it's your and you get a feeling. So in order to understand that, let's say pleasant feeling, it's then so the feeling has arisen, and so then you go into this contemplation of mind, and it's going to be one of these things, right? So you'll be like last, let's say. So once you understand that, and then there's some sort of meditation for that. So once you do that, then that feeling we want, if it's a pain feeling, we want it to become neutral.
Yeah, this is the way. When you have, for example, let's say that you see someone, you don't like her or him, right? Which kind of feeling you see? Aversion or anger, hatred, right? So why it is happening? Because you see that form, right? That is called patigha nimitta. Then you think unwisely, right? So, but in this insight, you see that the person, and you observe that with your eyes, that person is there. You develop the consciousness of your eye, the unification of contact, because it's contact, you get a feeling. In this case, unpleasant, painful feeling, right? It is because of the contact. You observe the contact, but when you see wisely, right? So if you unwisely, you can develop this way that he told me this way, he treated me this way, and all these things will come. That is unwise consideration. The wise consideration, you see, this person also impermanent. Is my mind, or how I got this feeling by seeing him, that because of the contact, right? When he see wisely, that means he come to equanimous mind, as you said. right? Equanimous mind. So that's how it will be equanimous, by developing the understanding of what is happening.
Sorry.
Equanimous.
Economist.
Equanimous. Or we can say neutral, but we cannot say neutral because it may be there's other definition. We can say equilibrium. If I look at science word, state of mind that equanimous is a state of mind, but it does not touch up, which is called that the pleasurable feeling. Down is painful feeling, right? It doesn't feel that that what is happening. Yes.
When we are at that state, so that how we can reduce suffering.
I guess the question is really, where is the antidote for the unpleasant feelings? So how do you get rid of it?
Yeah, I don't. It's like we don't but we sort of have this little like this.
Yeah. When you actually, this is the way that we have to keep on practicing this meditation, right? So whatever that vidarsana or this what is happening. So when it comes to your mind, that painful feeling, so you know what is happening. Right away, you can go to the equanimous when you understand. It will come with a practice, and with the practice, you develop your mindfulness. With the mindfulness, you can go right away to equanimous. That's for some. If it is undeveloped mind, this is they are thinking maybe days, weeks, months. But person who is developing mindfulness, and they know that maybe the time period is less. Initially, that their time maybe they can be few hours, but they know that how to eradicate that and come to the equanimous mind.
Like because
Oh, yes. Yes.
That's something that's going to happen. But we should, with practice, be able to, with mindfulness, kind of reduce that.
We see always see always develop the mindfulness, and the good things that you understand with this is this pain, whatever the feeling you get, it is wholesome or unwholesome. By the way, you can find, right? It's painful or it is pleasurable. It is based on the sensual desire, right? So you understand. So at that time, you understand the nature of how I got this one. That's why I gave that one of the example that good practice this one. Listen to your favorite song, okay? And then you like this one. You have attachment, right? So you develop that to your pleasurable feeling. Now develop your inside meditation. What is the inside meditation there? My eye is impermanent, sound is impermanent, because the sound is based on 4 great elements. My ear is based on name and form or mental materiality. And because of these 2 things, I get the consciousness. And with the unification of these 3, the ears, sounds, and consciousness, the unification of these 3 is a contact of ear. And because of that reason, I get this feeling. When you understand and observe which kind of feeling you get, and compare that your previous feeling and after you practice insight, and which kind of feeling, right? Then you can understand that you don't have that much attachment, that kind of feeling. You are kind of, that kind of mirror, that kind of equanimous, right? So it doesn't matter that you switch off if somebody switch off earlier, you'll get angry. And in this stage, it doesn't matter if switch on or not.
When your mind is equanimous, does that mean you are higher than first jhana?
No, it is not coming like that. And equanimous means that you see the reality of this one.
Yeah.
Right.
I want to know how do we know someone at the first jhana, and usually how long they last? So only does it last a long time? But
Oh, yes.
one pointed means happiness.
Yes.
Or is that last a long time or just a while? Does it count as jhana?
A few questions. The first question, how you know the jhana? How you go to jhana, right? In order to go to jhana, you have to eradicate, you have to overcome 5 hindrances. What are the 5 hindrances? Last, ill will, restlessness and remorse, and doubt and sleepiness. When you don't have your mind these 5, that means your mind is um, very it has the ability to concentrate. When you come to first jhana, for example, in meditation, whatever you come to first jhana. How you understand? You thought and sustain thought. What's thought and sustain thought? You think that whatever the meditation, you think again and again. Thought and sustain that thought. When that time your mind is concentrated, not distracted, so then as a nature of that your mind, you come to rapture, bodily pleasure, right? Then your mind is concentrated. When you come to all these qualities, you know my mind is first jhana. Okay. So then another question, how long can I stay? As long as you want to stay, right? That's a separate section in Samyutta Nikaya, Jhana Samyutta. Some people they are very capable of attaining jhana. They can attain jhana very fast, but they cannot stay there. They release right away. Some people they are not capable of attaining jhana very hard, but when they go to jhana, they can stay longer. Okay, so and some people they are very hard to attain jhana, very hard to exit. But however, when they go, they can stay longer. There are so many varieties about the people, right? Depends on the person. It depends on the practice, right? When the train the mind and more, and there's a word for this one. You develop it as a vehicle, right? So and anytime you can use that. Right? Yes.
Is it okay to be to admire things in life, even with their impermanent voice, emotions, and their impermanent, as long as it doesn't go against the 5% of the equivalent, as long as it doesn't involve killing, lust, stealing, crime, or consuming illicit substances.
So the 5 precepts is with the attachment. There's a possibility that you can practice 5 precepts with attachment, right? So attachment to your family or your children, you may have an attachment, right? But still you can practice 5 precepts, right? So this is but developing inside meditation, you have that you do all the things. That means you do not have attachment. Means that you do not. That means it doesn't mean that you do not love them. You can love. You can do your services, and still, you know that it's going to be impermanent, right? That's the way. That's a different way of that. You develop the wisdom. You do everything that when you see other compared with other people who doesn't know, but you do many things because you understand more, right? And maybe some people delay the things, but you do earlier than that, right? Whatever the things you have to do, and you know that because impermanent, there's a possibility you may die, they may die, maybe things will change, right? So therefore, it is coming with the internal. Right? Yes.
But also you need to accept it healthy, but I really feel that you need to accept that the reality that everything is inconvenient. So it's not just being aware of your aware that something, if it isn't.
So actually, that we accept or not, what is the real nature? Everything in this world is condition, those are impermanent. What is the not in condition? One thing only condition, that is only Nibbāna. Right? All other things are condition. If something is conditioned, subject to change. Right? Yeah. So that's the realization. Right? So it's very hard to come to that realization, that that understanding. We understand that is when it's permanent. Try to understand what is happening in these the things. Right? So when you see that, you observe. When you practice this way, this develop mindfulness, and that's why Buddha explained that, and at later, Buddha explained if somebody can practice this way 7 days, either you will be enlightened or you will be anagami, non-return. Hmm?
Very short, only 2 pages, 3 pages. But the contemplation of the body is like divided like so much importance on that.
And yeah, because Buddha explained more things about body, people can understand very well their own body. When you come to by the second place, the Vedanupassana, the contemplation of feeling, because next stage was is kind of hard to understand. Then Chittanupassana next level, then Dhammanupassana next level, and even though this is briefly explained, but there's one book like this one. It explains in detail, right? Supreme Bliss of Nibbāna, right? And it explains all the details. Yes, yes, it is there.
Yeah.
I'm explaining based on that book. It explains, and we have seen the book as well. It is there, right? Our teacher, Pinnato Sounds, explained really in great detail, right? Based on all these things, right?
If I think most of us only are born doing. So work, for example, we work with people who are leading their nothing losses, right? Problems that are not nice, or in family units. I mean, but you have to go to work and you have to meet those people. So is practicing this going to help? I know it will. I actually appreciate it. Not questioning that. I guess what I'm trying to say is you have to live with those people, you have to work with them, so you don't really have a choice. That's who they are, that's who they are. So it's me changing, or my colleague changing our ways of practicing this in order to eradicate.
Maybe that your question, maybe that I don't know that people asking question whether do or the online our Dhamma friends they can hear. So one question is about that even though we like it or not, our family members or maybe our working partners, co-workers, we have to experience right then. So unfortunately, this is the society. We live in that society. We cannot find that all the people are in the wholesome path. That's the reality. So we understand reality, depend on the nature. So you develop loving kindness and develop loving kindness to them. Some develop compassionate towards them, right?
Loving kindness.
Yeah. And most part is right. You have to be patient in the so those are things that we have to do. It doesn't mean that you change when you became good person. It doesn't mean that other people will be good, right? They are their same nature. Then you have to find the good. For example, there are different software. You are different software, so you have to find a some interface. Huh? Yes, and you understand that. And so actually, if you are capable, that you can change from that there as well, right? Not to develop more. If you have a really great loving kindness, right? Because if you develop, so they will turn into your side. For example, consider Sariputta Bhante or Moggalla Bhante or Supreme Buddha. When he goes to that place, all these bad people, they became good, right? So that's the way that they approach, right? Yeah. All right, so we'll share the merit now, and let us share the merit with all the devas from Devata of Nitara and Devas. May all devas rejoice in this merit. May all devas be fortunate to understand four noble truths in this Gautam Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. May our teacher, most venerable Pinnacle Sansi, rejoice in this merit, and all the monks around the world, all the nuns around the world rejoice in this merit. May all of them have long life, be happy, be healthy, be peaceful. May all of them be fortunate to understand four noble truths in this Gautam Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. May all of you and all of your children and relatives and all the family members and all the parents rejoice in this merit. May all of you have long life, be happy, be healthy, be peaceful. May all the fortune come your way. May all of you be fortunate to develop your education really well. May all of your children be fortunate to develop their education really well. May all of you be fortunate to understand four noble truths in this Gautam Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let us share the merit with our departed relatives, and may they have good food, good shelter, good medicine, good clothing. May all of them be fortunate to understand four noble truths and escape the journey samsara in this Gautam Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Bhante is chanting verses of blessing. You see, Abhivadan Sevis Nityam Vada Pachai Chattaro Dhamma Vadante Ayuvan Sukham Balam Ayurarogya Sampatti Santa Sampatti Mevacha Ato Nibbāna Sampatti Nāti Samijjatu. May the Metripajan bless you all, everyone, Saramai, and Daya.
Okasa wadami
So,
bante,
Bhante,
ayang kata podya, samina anumoditama,
Sadhu Sadhu Anandami,
kata podya, mayhang databa,
Sadhu Sadhu Anandita,
sadu-sadu anumodam, okasa dwasen, katang sabang atayang kamatami bante,
Kamtam, Pamam Kamtam.
okasa kamati bante, tutiam pi okasa kamati bante, tatiam pi
May the
okasa
Japanese
kamati
bless you
bante,
all,
sadu,
everyone,
sadu,
Saramai, Namo.
namo buddhaya.